G'day guys, Pete here from Clinic Mastery. And in today's video, what we're going to be doing is reflecting on why did you start your clinic? For two main reasons. One, and very importantly, when the going gets tough, and it has been a tough slog the past few years, it's really nice to remember, why did we start this to begin with? What was our why? So that's really important. Let's put that in bucket number one. And in bucket number two over here, also very important, is because the reason that you started your clinic may also be the reason why you lose team members because people want to go and start their own clinics. And we'll get to that in a second. But before we dive any deeper, please, if you haven't already, like this video. It helps us to reach more people, and subscribe to the channel for more great content just like this. So firstly, take out a pen. I don't actually have a pen on me. Take out a pen, some paper, your notepad, whatever it may be. But what I want you to write down is your why, your purpose. Why did you start your clinic? What is it that really drove you to do that from a purpose perspective? And it may have been to make an impact, to help more people, to do it your way. But I also want you to write down, what were some of the key reasons that you left a secure role to do that? Because for a lot of people, they had that why, that purpose there the whole time. But then there were a whole raft of other reasons, and they all added up. They combined to make you take that jump, to help you to overcome that friction or that obstacle. Okay, so just take a moment, pause the video, do that one now. What is your purpose, and what is the reason, or what are the reasons that made you finally take that first step? And I'll share with you mine. I was working at a clinic, and I felt like, A, I felt like I could do it better, but B, I felt like I really wasn't appreciated, and C, I felt like clients weren't given the care that they deserved. And sometimes I would have appointments double booked, so 2 appointments booked at the same time. And I just thought, this isn't healthcare. This isn't why I got into being a physio. And there was a point there, and I can't tell you exactly, but I just remember, and I was driving home. It's about a 45-minute drive home. And I just decided on that drive home that I'd had it, that I was going to put in my resignation that night, and I was going to find a way to do it myself. And as a physiotherapist at the time, who only had 6 weeks of being experienced as a physiotherapist, that was a ridiculous proposition. But I was just at the point where it was that or really nothing. I saw no other option there. So take a moment, do that one now. Now you've got that down. Hopefully you pause the video, you put a bit of time into that one. If you haven't, please go back and do it. I actually have a list here. I'm just going to pull my list up. Now, these are some of the reasons that clinic owners have said that contributed to them creating their own business. So one, they felt like there was no more growth in the role. They felt like they couldn't go any further. So maybe they were a senior therapist and they felt like, well, is this all I'm going to be doing? Will I just be seeing patients and nothing else really? Was there no mentorship opportunities, no opportunities to be involved in the business side of things? It can feel like there's a ceiling, and the ceiling can feel quite low in healthcare at times. They didn't want to only work with clients in their role, which links back to that first one. A lot of healthcare professionals, and maybe too soon, but they want to be doing other things that aren't just seeing clients. Seeing clients can be very emotionally heavy work, and especially in the different industries that people are in. And so being able to do other things within their role that is still meaningful is something that a lot of people want to be able to do. Next, wanting more flexibility in their week. And this one always makes me laugh, because how many people, how many business owners decided to leave a 38-hour-a-week job where they got paid for $1,500, $2,000 a week to go and start their own business and earn less money and work more hours when they thought they were going to be earning more and working less? I know that was me for sure. And I know a lot of business owners who that was very similar for. Maybe that was you. But keep in mind that these are the reasons why people are going to leave your clinic one day, right? So for each of these, we want to actually think, how can we create a strategy? How can we proactively solve this problem? How can we be having these conversations so that people don't feel like there is no other option to go and start their own business? What else do we have here? They felt unappreciated for their hard work. And I'm going to put my hand up here and say something that I struggled with a lot, especially early in my business career, was showing people appreciation for the work that they've done. I think I lent more towards the larger, the grand gestures, the organizing, the big team day, those sorts of things, the retreat. But so often, people just want to be noticed for the little things that they're doing well consistently. So actually creating a system and taking the time to notice what are people doing really well and appreciating them for that. Also had people would like to be more involved in the business side of things. Now, again, this isn't always viable or reasonable at different stages in someone's career. But when we've got really senior therapists who are absolute guns, at some point, they may want more involvement in the business. And if we're not able to offer that to them, then I wouldn't be surprised if they choose to go and start their own business. So keeping that in mind. We've also got, they wanted something of their own. So they wanted to have ownership of something. So they felt like they were really contributing in a more meaningful way than just being a really great team member. We've had that in my clinics. We had a couple of team members who ended up buying in it and actually owning equity within the company, because for them, on their desire statement, that's what they really wanted to achieve. And that was meaningful to them. And we had two choices. We could either do it with them or they were going to leave and do it on their own. And so I hope you can see that there are always options, and I'm sure you can find a third and fourth and fifth choice there too. And the last one, which we've already touched on, is they wanted to work less and they wanted to make more. And especially in healthcare, especially starting out, it is a hard slog. And some of the conversations I've had with clinic owners that I've worked with my own team, is that to go and start your own thing, there's a good few years where it's going to be an absolute grind. And for a lot of people, they want to be more involved in a larger company, a larger business that's working on a different scale and different problems. And so having the opportunity and pathways within your business for someone to become a shareholder, a director, et cetera, over time. And there's lots of different models to do this. Lots and lots of different models. There's no perfect way to do this. And it really just depends, what do you want as a business owner? And is this the right person? And does it fit in with your plans and your goals and your vision for where you want to go with it? So what I'd like you to do is to create a list. So mine's not an exhaustive list. It's just a few that have popped to mind from clinic owners that I work with. But put down, what are those key reasons that you think were the reasons why you left, and be really open and honest with yourself. And also write down, what are the reasons you think you weren't your reasons, but may contribute to someone leaving. And then around each of these, if you can create a strategy for how you can proactively prevent this from being an issue in the future, whether it's by having conversations, whether it's by noticing the little things, whether it's by creating pathways and having people be aware of them, it can make all the difference, especially considering what is one of the biggest challenges in healthcare at the moment: recruitment. And if we look at what are the really successful businesses going to do over the next 3 to 5 years, they're going to be the businesses that can retain their team members. People want to stay there for the long term, and they're going to be the people that can recruit. For each team member you retain, that's someone you don't need to recruit. And I'm sure you're well aware, a team member that's been with you for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they're a weapon. They're great at what they do. When someone comes into the team, it's a lot of effort for you, for your senior leadership team, to train them up. It is a really long, hard slog, and it's worth it. But if you can keep people longer, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years longer, a decade longer, the longer you keep those people, the simpler you make business for you. And the more people, when they come in, are going to have more senior leadership team members that they can look up to and learn from. So key focus here for those people that are long-term team members, that are weapons, that are doing great things. How can we proactively make sure that we're keeping them in our team for as long as possible? I hope you've enjoyed this video, my friends. I'd love to hear in the comments below what was a key learning in this lesson, and I will see you in the next video next week.